Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at your trigger, what screws to look for, and what each screw does to make adjustments for the trigger. The Allens we'll need is a 5/64 Allen and a 1/16 Allen. The first two we're going to look at are your pull trigger screws, which is located on the left side of the gun. 5/64 Allen to adjust them. The top one will adjust the end point of the trigger. So when I screw it in, it's going to make the trigger stop sooner. I screw it out, you're going to have more, and the end point's going to be farther back. I have mine set to where it stops clicking as soon, or it ends as soon as it clicks. And the bottom is the start point. So when I screw it in, you can see that the trigger now moves. The start point, the farther it is, the start point moves back. The farther out it is, the start point of the trigger comes forward. I like to have a nice pull, and then as soon as it stops, it clicks the switch and then it comes back out. Now, if you ever have experienced where these screws came, either they move during gameplay where they come completely out, or they go completely in and you no longer can pull the trigger, the best solution, back both of them out, wrap them in Teflon tape, and screw them back in, do your adjustments, get the trigger how you like, and the screws shouldn't move from then on out. The Teflon just adds a tension in between the threads, and it will prevent them from moving during gameplay. The next two screws we're going to look at uses the 1/16 Allen. They're on the front of the trigger here, and I recommend using a 90-degree Allen. The die tool will work, but it will get stuck sometimes right here. It's not a good reach. I see several people just bend that size Allen so the die tool can get in there. Easiest, if you have a 90-degree angle, go ahead and get a 90. To adjust your reach, you want to loosen both of the screws, not just one, but both of the screws. They don't need to be completely taken out, just loose enough where the reach can move. Alright, as you can see, I don't have the screws completely out, but it is enabled to where I can move this trigger without it actually moving, so you can adjust where your trigger is set. If you want it to be a more angled forward or angled down, my best trigger setting is just getting one finger in there, pushing it down just a little bit with my thumb, and then tightening them down. When tightening these screws down, you don't want to tighten one completely all the way down and crank one down and then tighten the other. You want to get one just a little bit snug and then work your way down to the next one and get that one snug. And when both are done, tighten just a little bit, then go ahead and start go back and forth between the two and just keep tightening them, just tighter and tighter. You don't need to crank it down. This is very thin aluminum. You don't want to strip either your Allen head or the threads in here where this screw is just going to come completely out. So now that we have both of them set, my trigger is not going to move, and both of them are screwed down tightly, and that's how you adjust your reach. The next screw, we're going to take a look at the other side, is the magnet set screw. Now, this uses the 5/64 Allen, and it is located on the silver piece here, and you'll reach through the front of the grip or the trigger on this bottom hole, and you should be able to get it in there. You might need to wiggle your Allen just a little bit just to get it in and set. Now, on stock, this screw is going to be out the back to where it's touching the magnet, and the magnet is located on the trigger itself. And if that screw is touching the magnet, it's going to have a magnetic force that when you pull, it's going to have to break. I personally didn't like that, so all I did was just back the screw out just a little bit to where that magnet no longer touches the screw, but it still gives a magnetic force to pull the trigger back. It's not going to touch it to where I have a force, but I do have it to where it gives it enough force to get it back out and nice set trigger. That's pretty much all your trigger screws. Just remember, if these loosen up, go ahead and put Teflon tape. You can do the same with these, but I've never had a problem with these loosening, just as long as you tighten one and just keep going back and forth, work your way between the two. And then your magnet set screw. If it's touching the magnet, you have a magnetic force that it has to break. Thank you for watching.